Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Manor Road Studio, home of the Alive podcast, and I'm Dale. If you're new to the channel, we've been doing these podcasts for probably a year or so now, and the whole goal has always been to lift people up, make them feel a little better than they are, and teach people that you don't have to believe every negative thing that you think. As always, I've got my Hope Rock with me, and I hope you've got something simple like that inspires you on the wall. It says, when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. And again, for those of you new here, I am Dale. I'm a stage 4 terminal cancer fighter. I've got an ostomy on one side that replaces my bladder, and I've got nephrostomy tubes on the other side that drains the left kidney. So some people would say I'm a double bagger. I was very, very athletic for the majority of my adult life. A triathlon, biking, swimming, running. Exercised 5 days a week, and that came to an abrupt halt in July of 2018 when I went back into the hospital and found out my cancer had come back and spread to my bladder and kidneys. Like a lot of people, I could have probably let that get me down, but I chose to do something different. I wanted to find another passion, another something that I could get involved in that would continue to make a difference in the lives of others. Now, I've always been a fanatical reader. I've always really, really cared about people's self-esteem, where they are emotionally and spiritually in their life. And I'm not trying to push anybody one direction or the other. The only thing I do try to push you in is to believe wholeheartedly that you're God's greatest miracle and there's more in you than you even begin to know. Last month, we talked about The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. It was what we called the book of the month. This month is The Magic of Thinking Big. And I want to read something to you in here because this is the only kind of material I read. It says, think success, don't think failure. At work, in your home, substitute success thinking for failure thinking. When you face a difficult situation, think, I'll win, not I'll probably lose. When you compete with someone else, think, I'm equal to the best, not I'm outclassed. So I would really encourage you to read The Magic of Big Thinking. It's a life changer. I'm also reading Relentless Optimism, The Power of Positive Thinking. And for those of you that are facing cancer, I don't say this enough, but here's a great book called A Reason for Hope. It's Gaining Strength for Your Fight Against Cancer, and I give this book away. So anybody that's battling cancer, please contact me, Dale Childress, at iCloud.com. Contact me on Messenger. Find me on Facebook. Subscribe. Hit the like button to this right here and leave a comment. You know, I really, really always want to hear from you. I want to know what drives you. And whatever battle you're facing in life, I want to know how you're slaying the giant. Because it really matters. What we don't realize sometimes is how many people are looking at us and trying to find their way. I know you may be thinking, that's not possible. If anybody knew how dazed and confused and I was, they sure as heck wouldn't want to follow me. But, you're wrong in thinking that. You see my cat behind me. It's kind of funny. That's cat is Woodstock. Hey, Woodstock. But, you need to be a mentor to others, and you are without knowing. But, here's something that I always tell people. We are like the 5 people that we spend the most of our time around. So if you're hanging around and your tribe is negative, then you'll probably have a negative mindset too. If your tribe is always being a naysayer and you can't do this and you can't do that, then you'll probably be the same. But if your tribe is, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, nothing's going to get in my way, you would be amazed at just how your thinking mindset can change your position in life. I am fully convinced that my positive mind and my refusal to quit looking forward is what's kept me alive over the last 13 years that I've been battling cancer. So it can be done. So like I started out with, don't believe everything that you think. I remember reading a story, gosh, it's been several years ago, but it was around the turn of the century, the 20th century that is, during the Great Depression and the Great Drought that was encompassing a lot of the western states and especially southern Texas. And there was this man and his family, and they had literally lost everything. They had nothing left. Their livestock had died because there was no water. What little vegetation they had died out and dried up. They had no money, no jobs. They were literally, if there was ever a figurative word for hopeless, this man and his family were it. Well, they were getting ready to load what little belongings they had and head out of town in hopes of finding something better and a new start. And a man from an oil company pulls up and said, "Hey, I'd like to buy the rights to the oil on your land." The guy thought, "Well, I sure as heck have nothing to lose, but maybe, just maybe, I have something small to gain." So he signed the papers, the oil company comes in, and within 30 days, they struck the largest oil well at that time in southern Texas. The man and his family became instant millionaires. Or did they? You see, they were millionaires the whole time. They just didn't know what was underneath them. And that is applicable to us. We're God's greatest miracle. We're worth so much more than millions of dollars. But unfortunately, very few people realize what they have inside of them. Just think about it. Would you cut your arm off for $10,000? Pluck an eye out for $20,000? Maybe give up your hearing for $30,000? You see what I mean? We are literally priceless in the greatest sense of the word. And when you start seeing yourself that way, amazing things begin to happen. So I want to keep this really, really short, but I want to tell you that there's so much more in you than you know. And you got to be a fountain, not a drain. You got to stop blooming, or stop blaming and start blooming. You got to be your greatest advocate. Because remember, there's lots of eyes upon you, whether it be your family, your friends, your children, or whatever the case may be. As you lead, so shall they follow. So be sure you're leading in a positive way. And if you're following people that are the wrong tribe, switch gears, stop, back up, take the other fork in the road, and change your tribe. Why? Because your life matters. Now, everybody knows that when I had to give up work, physical work that is, that I switched my passion to podcasting, and I obviously love to read anyway, but also eBay and thrifting. And I've met so many wonderful people on this venture, and it's given me something that I truly, truly enjoy. So for those of you that are aspiring to be thrifters on eBay, let me know. I've made every mistake you could possibly make since November 1st when I started. And most people would have quit. They would have literally said, "It's not worth it. I give up." I refused. I thought, no. I'm going to keep chipping away at this, and I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to figure this out. And I'm going to understand how to thrift, where to source, how to price, how to photo. And I did it. There's been a lot of great YouTube people I've watched. So for folks like Part-Time Pickers, Commonwealth Pickers, Cincinnati Picker, there's so many of you guys, Rally Roots, that you don't even know that I'm watching you, but I am. You've inspired me, and my goal is to turn around and inspire others. So probably in the next week, I'll start bringing you some what sold videos so you can actually see what I'm selling on eBay. And of course, one of my goals is also to raise money for addiction recovery. You know, we've got the Women of Hope here in Jackson, and I really, really fell in love with Path of Grace in Destin and the Haven House down there as well. So always looking for addiction recovery folks that we can support. So anyway, that's it for today. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and remember, if you're facing cancer or someone in your family, grab this book, A Reason for Hope. It's fantastic. And the book we're going to read together this month is The Magic of Thinking Big. It's really powerful. It can change your life. I know that it changed mine. So without further ado, I'm Dale, Manor Road Studio. Leave me a comment, send me a message. Any way you want to communicate, I want to hear from you.